one of my all-time favorite sausages, blood sausage. I'm going to show you the whole process here. First thing to do is take your blood from the freezer, or if it's fresh, you're going to want to puree it to return it to its original silky smooth consistency. Obviously, this is something you want to do in a place that is easy to clean. Do not use the high speed. All you just want to do is stir it up and loosen it up and break up any clots in there. I know that sounds kind of gross, and it'll get more gross in a second. It's just part of the reality of home butchery and nose to tail cooking. So get your blood buzzed up, and now it's time to strain it. Now, if you purchased your blood, if you purchased pork blood, which is the only blood I know that's sold commercially, I'm actually using lamb blood here. You may not need to strain it. If you do the butchery at home, you must strain it because different things can get into the blood, like hair and stuff like that. So you do not want any of that in your sausage. Again, just part of the reality of home butchery. Now, this is a really interesting sausage because it has a lot of different components in it. Once you get the components put together, it comes together pretty easily. We're going to start off with a lot of chopped garlic and chopped onion. And there's also other things in the sausage like starch. We're going to use wild rice, and a lot of people just use regular rice. That's traditional. Barley and oats are traditional in Scandinavia. I'm going to cook down the onions and the garlic, and then I'm going to add a bunch of scallions at the end. And we're just going to cook these just to take the raw off so they don't taste hot and spicy anymore. And when that's done, you're going to chill down the onion mixture until it's cool. And now we're going to assemble the sausage. So I have wild rice here. This is parched wild rice. Do not use black patty rice. If you don't know the difference between those two, just use white long grain rice. It's perfectly fine. We're going to add our cooked onions. We're going to add a bunch of salt, all kinds of herbs. Just look at all those herbs and onions and rice in there. I just love this. We'll add some smoked paprika and some cayenne, and then the magic ingredient goes in, blood. Give that a mix. You want to wear gloves here because this will really get stuck under your nails. And this is a really easy sausage to mix up. You can see I just mix it by hand. It's easy to get the seasoning evenly distributed because you don't have to knead it. And it's also great because this takes a little bit of meat and turns it into like 10 pounds of sausage. It's great. Great way to stretch things. It's also delicious. Now, this is one of the most important parts of sausage making. I'm going to take the sausage mixture and I'm going to fry a piece up and taste it. And depending on where it's at, I may season it and cook a piece 3 or 4 times as nothing until the sausage tastes perfect. Once I'm happy with the sausage, then we're going to pack it into casings. That one I packed a little bit tight. This one is a little bit better. Make sure to get the male piece wet to help the casings go on. I like to do about 10 feet at a time, but this is not an exact science. You can do it any way you want. Then I'm packing it here. This is good to do with a helper, but just hold the end of the sausage with one hand and we'll tie it after the sausage is all packed. That's to make sure that we don't get air pockets in there. Just keep packing it in. And then we'll tie them up after it's all packed. And then it's time to twist them into links. So you can make big links, small links. I like smaller links because they're easier to portion. But you can do whatever size you like, or you could freeze the whole coil. And I'm going to freeze these. They freeze really, really well, and they're easy to reheat and cook, as you will see. Just twist those things all up. And you're going to see here on the last one, I got a little bit greedy, and there was some air pockets in this last one here. So this one was a little bit more tight. So you want to make sure to leave some wiggle room so that your sausages aren't really tight, because if this breaks, you do not want this one to break. It is messy. Not as much of a deal with other sausages, but you can see here I have to leave a couple big links in that one just because I got a little bit greedy. Then when they're all twisted up into links, I'm going to par freeze these on a baking sheet with a rack. And I'm going to do that until they're about half frozen. And when they're half frozen, this just makes them easier to vacuum seal, which is the best way to freeze them. I'm going to cut them into individual links, put them into the bag, and seal them. We're actually going to cook these directly in the bag in the sous vide, but you can parboil them, you can steam them, you can roast them. You just need to par cook them before you cook them again and serve them. Once those are all cooked through, then I'm going to chill them down, and now I'm going to cut the sausages into slices, and then we're going to fry them up. And that's the traditional way that blood sausage is served, one of them. You can also serve a whole link. I really like the slices because the rice gets kind of extra crispy. Cut them into pieces and fry them up. And that is one of the best sausages that I like to eat for breakfast. Really, really good. I hope I've inspired you to maybe think a little bit differently about cooking with blood or try blood sausage yourself. Thanks for watching.